What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we're going to take a look at Red Hulk in Alliance Wars. And as expected, this guy is beyond crazy. Even at 3 yellow stars, it's just bonkers. So I don't know exactly how we are going to deal with this team whenever we'll get this guy with 7 yellow stars, 6 yellow stars, 5 yellow stars and so on, because the team looks so powerful against what we have available right now that is going to be a little bit scary. So we are going to take a look at this guy in action in Alliance Wars. The teams that we are going to face, they're all over 1 million in terms of power, and that means that whenever you have the rooms from Alliance Wars, they are over 1.4 million. So this is the highest of the highest you can get in terms of power right now, and we are using a simple character at 3 yellow stars. So as always, if you like the information on this video, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button. After that, at the end of the video, I'm going to mention a few of the counters that we have been able to use against this team, but only with a small Red Hulk, so keep that in mind. So with all of that, let's get started. Okay, so for the first match we are going to take a look at 700,000 power Red Hulk Gamma team against 1.2 million, 1.2. So this is 500k punch up against Eternals with New Warriors, and you'll see that there is just nothing that these guys can do. The entire Gamma team will go before the Eternals, and then you can just turn rewind and apply offense down to them, and it's over. Abomination goes after. You can stun whichever character you want. I decided to stun Cersei, so she's not able to flip the positive effects around. And with Braun, he's a kit-based character, but his ultimate does so much damage to the characters because it's health steal. And you saw right there, if you use the special, you can copy all the positive effects from the enemies, remove them, and apply them to your team. So it's just insane how powerful this team is. Right there, just with the basic, Red Hulk almost destroy the death pool. Cloak doing some nasty things with the negative effects, and now we have Eternals. Look at that, full power Eternals and New Warriors. It seems like we are in a scary situation, right? We have all those negative effects, and this is without the T4 on his passive. The T4 on his passive gives the team 150% more resistance, and still they work out fine. Okay, so it looks very scary, but look at the charges of She-Hulk. She's gonna grab all those negative effects and she's going to throw them back at the enemy team. So with this, the ultimate of Red Hulk is ready. He's going to do the Meteor Crush, and he's going to apply the battlefield effect to the enemies. Right now we still don't have the animation on the battlefield effect, but hopefully we'll have it in the future. Okay, so Icarus is gone, Cersei is gone, Deadpool is gone, and yeah, from that grim situation where we were able to recover and completely destroy the enemies. This is just ridiculous. 500k punch up. Okay, so let's take a look at another matchup. We have the Marauders against the Gamma team, and this is a 300k punch up. Now, because this team is so fast, like you can because of this team is so fast, and because Hulk has such a high base damage, especially if you are using him as a striker, whenever Mr. Sinister clones, he's always going to clone Hulk. And Hulk is great together with the Gamma team, and on the other side it's not that great. And because we are going so fast, we can turn rewind the enemies. We don't even have to worry about the Taunt of Strife. There is nothing they can do. They get completely destroyed. And as a first move from Braun, you should use his ultimate just to remove Strife as fast as possible. Like, this team has no chance of doing anything. Madeline Pryor and Emma Frost, they are just not going to provide enough. And once again, this is without the T4 on Braun's passive, so most of these negative effects that we are taking, they will not even apply. And once again, with She-Hulk, she's gonna be able to transfer those negative effects. Now you can see right here that I guess we got unlucky, and Mystique stunned She-Hulk. This is one of the ways you can lock the Gamma team, is by stunning She-Hulk and turn rewinding Red Hulk. That's gonna be the strategy where I will be trying out a few things so we can win against the Gamma team, because yes, that's the way you can win. Stun She-Hulk, turn rewind Red Hulk, so he's not able to obtain charges. So charges and to have his turn as well. Okay, so you can see that we lost She-Hulk, so the Marauders, surprisingly, they giving us a tough match. But now with the battlefield effect there is nothing they can do. They also have the trauma with heal block. Usually Mr. Sinister is strong against the heal block, but not whenever there is a trauma. Mystique got wrecked, and now Madeline Pryor, she can still be very annoying because she's mind controlling different characters to attack us, and depending on which character she mind controls, that might be a problem. So you could even replace Mystique with some other high damage character, or Strife, or I don't know, but to increase the performance of Madeline Pryor. But overall, I mean, I'm surprised that the Marauders gave us a little bit of work because they destroyed the She-Hulk, and that's an exploit that we might use in the future in order to win against the Gamma team. Okay, so let's take a look at the next team. Okay, now we have the Gamma team versus Infinity Watch, and unfortunately this was the biggest Infinity Watch I could find. Mine is 1 million power, but I cannot fight my own team, so that was unfortunate. But we can still have an idea of the Infinity Watch, and I think there is a small possibility of the Infinity Watch giving some work to the Gamma team. Once again, this is going to revolve around the stun of Adam Warlock and the turn rewind of Moondragon. But this is something I still have to try out, but if you can use Brawn to copy all those positive effects from Nebula to all your Gamma team, it's quite a problem. You can look at that. We have immunity, speed up, and deflects on everyone. That's just crazy. And even that they have the safeguard, they are holding back, or they are holding on. The Infinity Watch is holding on quite a bit, as you can see, but it's just for the first few turns. If you remove the revive from Nebula, it's pretty much game over. So if you are using the Infinity Watch against the Gamma team, you have to be careful with that. If Nebula gets a revive removal, then it's over for you. Otherwise, you still might have a chance of getting rid of 1 or 2 characters, but overall they don't have much of a chance. Once again, I'm still gonna try it out to find a way to at least deal with the small Gamma teams, because I think there is that possibility with Adam Warlock applying stun and with the Moondragon doing the turn rewind. Okay, so here we go. We removed that Nebula. Now we're going to use the Meteor Crush once again. We're going to apply all those negative effects to the enemies, and because of the trauma, we are not able to remove anything. Phylavel, she was protected with a safeguard, but now it's over for her. And one problem with the Gamma team is that they are quite slow in terms of damage right now, to be honest. I mean, we know that Red Hulk is small, of course, but the problem is not Red Hulk being small. The problem is that the battlefield effect takes a lot of, it takes a very long time to do anything. It's just you need the enemies to take turns. If the enemies don't take turns, the battlefield effect doesn't actually do anything. So it's a little bit, it feels like the team doesn't have as much firepower as it should have because of that situation. Once again, if the enemies are not taking any turns, the battlefield effect is not doing anything, and that's a little bit inconvenient. But yeah, overall, you can see that the team is destroying, but it's not like crushing. It's I don't know how to explain. You guys let me know in the comments below what do you think. They are doing fine. They are doing fine, right? They are just not destroying anyone. It's not like the Weapon X. The Weapon X, they finished the match in a few turns, 2 or 3 turns, and it's over. And it feels like the Gamma team, they are relying a lot more on their survivability rather than the Weapon X does. Okay, so there we almost lost to Hulk because of Gamora, and we have Adam Warlock left, and that's it. Okay, so yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below what do you think. Do you think they are crushing it, or do you think they are just relying on their high survivability in order to defeat the enemies? Okay, with that said, let's take a look at the next match. Okay, so for our next match, we are going to face Unlimited X-Men on defense. It's not a team that I recommend on defense because the way that Dazzler works, the way that Gambit and Rogue work, it's not a team that you should have on defense. But let's still see how it works. This is a 1.1 million, so we are punching up 400k. And once again, because the Gamma team goes so fast, you are just going to turn rewind the Rogue, and the match is pretty much over. This is why you should not have Gambit next to Rogue, you should have Dazzler next to Rogue. Otherwise, one of your major cards is going to be nullified. And with Dazzler it's not the case, because whenever negative effects are applied to Unlimited, she is going to get additional turn meter. So that's something that you should take into consideration when you are using your Unlimited. And once again, is the team crushing? I feel like the team is really relying on their survivability, because it doesn't feel like Weapon X 2.0. Some people are saying, is the Gamma team the Weapon X 2.0? I don't think so. I don't think so. Once again, this might be because Red Hulk is kind of short, but at the same time, I don't think that Abomination, She-Hulk, Hulk or Brawn have the same powerful effects like Lady Deathstrike and Silver Samurai. And with Omega Red, the basic attack is also extremely powerful, because he steals the health of the enemies, he does the damage of the attack. He also does the isolate attack. So Omega Red, with just his basic attack, he can one-shot someone, which is not the case for Red Hulk. Okay, so yeah, we were still able to destroy this Unlimited X-Men. Once again, 400k punch up. And it makes sense, because they don't have as much defensive power as the Infinity Watch. So now let's take a look. We have a few teams left. We have Hero Asgardians and Darkhold. So let's take a look at those matches as well. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the Gamma team versus Hero Asgardians, and this was a little bit surprising on how hard it was to defeat the Hero Asgardians. They are quite problematic, and I was not exactly sure how I would approach this match. Should we get rid of Valkyrie as fast as possible? Should we just get rid of Thor? That seems to be the best choice, is to always go after Thor first. But I decided to go after Valkyrie, and I think that was a mistake. So what you want to do is to just stun Valkyrie or Lady Thor. Focus everything that you have on Thor, and you'll be good to go. The Gamma team, they are extremely powerful, and as I mentioned before, you can use the ultimate from Brawn to bypass certain abilities of the characters. This works with, for example now, with the Heimdall passive. Whenever the Hero Asgardians they drop below 50% health, if you jump from 60% to 40%, then those abilities are not going to activate. This is just a feature that you have with Health Steal, and this is why Minerva can be quite interesting against the Hero Asgardians with the Eternals. Okay, so we are gonna slap Valkyrie out of existence, and this shows you that if you attack the wrong character, you might be in a huge problem, because now Thor is going to have offense up, and we are not going to be able to remove that offense up, and he's going to do tons and tons of damage to us. So this once again proves that Thor should be the first character that you remove, and then you deal with the remaining. But if you don't deal with Thor, I think you'll have a lot more problems than otherwise. Okay, so now we are stuck behind the Sif, and once again, like, the Gamma team is doing fine, but it's more based on their survivability rather than their firepower, because it just takes so long for Red Hulk to get charged. Okay, so here we go, we have She-Hulk being attacked. And because this is also a lot of direct damage that Asgardians provide, instead of relying on negative effects, they just do direct damage. And like this, we cannot take advantage of She-Hulk. Finally, we did the Meteor Crush, and now Thor is with his Lightning Crush. And we got the stun on She-Hulk, and that can be a little bit dangerous. Once again, if She-Hulk gets stunned, and we are not able to remove our negative effects, that can compromise Red Hulk. But we have only 3 characters left, Lady Thor, Thor and Heimdall. We are going to turn rewind them once again with Red Hulk's special. We are going to finish off Thor and the match is over. It was a little bit scary when we got rid of that Valkyrie, but we were able to overcome it. Okay, so now we are going to take a look at the Young Avengers. Okay, so here we go, Young Avengers versus the Gamma team. Once again, we have almost 500k punch up. This is teams almost maxed out. I went to the local water park and I met with the whales, and that's where I was able to test these teams. Okay, so against Hero Asgardians, or against, what is it? Young Avengers. So against Young Avengers, you want to go after American Chavez, so she doesn't give any turns to them, right? After that, you want to stun Kate Bishop, and you want to stun the Echo, so she doesn't apply the evades to everyone. Let's see, or did I go after Squirrel Girl? Okay, so the best way I think is going to be stun Echo and stun Squirrel Girl. I think that's going to be the best option, because you don't want to deal with those retaliation attacks anyway. Okay, so Kate Bishop, she's almost on her knees. Once again, this is a 1.4 million power team in Alliance Wars. Outside of Alliance Wars, it's 1.1.5. So it's extremely powerful. These characters have Altiel gear. You can see the red stars, 7 red stars, 6 red stars. It's very, very high end. And still the Gamma team is completely destroying them with the 3 yellow stars, 0 red stars, Red Hulk, which is pretty decent. Let's just say that, which is pretty decent. Okay, but still, once again, they are still holding on. What I was mentioning before, it seems that they don't have as much firepower as the Weapon X, and it just takes so long to charge up Red Hulk. I'm not exactly sure if it's supposed to be like this, or if we are just supposed to use this character on defense, where it's more convenient for us and we don't have to worry about charging up Red Hulk. And another good thing about the Gamma team on defense is that so many people time out against this team. So even if you are taking a very, very strong team like Darkhold with Dormammu or something similar, there is still a high chance that you will time out because of how much survivability the Gamma team has. Okay, so we got rid of Miss Marvel, we got rid of Kate Bishop. Now we're just gonna slap these other 3 out of existence, and that was the TikTok Avengers. There we go. Okay, now we have Heroes for Hire. This is a team that I'm not very sure if people still care about, because we have the Dark Hunters, and they are extremely powerful against the Heroes for Hire. They are a very hard counter. But anyway, let's take a look on how the Gamma team performs, since the Heroes for Hire have such a level of survivability as well. So they're almost on par with the Gamma team, not because of their abilities, but because of that charge mechanic that they have on their passive. Okay, so we turn rewind. The Colin Wing and the Misty Knight, we don't want to deal with those stuns, and the heal block is also unnecessary. And with Shang-Chi, you can apply offense down to him, that's gonna shut down him. And we are stuck behind the... what's his name? Luke Cage passive or taunt. We are stuck behind this taunt, and that's something very inconvenient. And this is why I like Skirmisher on Red Hulk, because with his basic attack you have a higher chance of removing those positive effects. Otherwise, you don't have many chances of removing positive effects on the enemies. Or you wait Red Hulk to have his ultimate ready, otherwise you can't remove positive effects from the enemies. And once again, this is one of the reasons why I like Skirmisher on Red Hulk. Okay, so Red Hulk is being held back by a threat. Let's see if he's gonna be able to survive or not. We already did some massive damage to the enemies, but once again, the fact that it takes so long for Red Hulk to charge up, it makes the situation a little bit scary. Okay, here we go with the Meteor Crush. Now you're going to apply Trauma and Heal Block against the Heroes for Hire. And after that, it's pretty much instant win. All those charges are going to drop off because of the gamma radiation, and the match is pretty much over. Just go after the characters with the highest health, and they will start burning off whenever they have their own turn. Okay, so as you can see, if you survive the first waves, then the Heroes for Hire are not going to be a problem. But as I mentioned, we already have the the Dark Hunters that counter this team pretty well. You can see there She-Hulk doing some big damage with her passive attack. She-Hulk is actually quite underrated. If you have her big enough, she becomes way more interesting. She's definitely not a Scarlet Witch like the Darkhold has. Okay, so now you're going to take a look at Darkhold match, Gamma Team against Darkhold. This is the OG Darkhold. It is at 1 million power. That means in Alliance Wars it's gonna be 1.3 million power. And we are going to turn rewind Agatha and Morgan Le Fay plus Wong. So you want to keep Wong as far away from Morgan Le Fay as possible in case you want to make the Gamma teams to have some additional problems against the Darkhold. You want to copy the positive effects from Agatha, and then you want to apply stun to Wong with She-Hulk. This is why you need She-Hulk as a skirmisher, because otherwise she's going to fail that stun. And as you saw right there, even if you have her as a skirmisher, make sure that you have a comparable amount of gear based on the Wong that you are facing. Okay, so after that, I like to go after Agatha, because as soon as you get rid of Agatha, you'll no longer have that problem of characters going into stealth and getting immunity and so on, and barrier. So go after Agatha first, and use the ultimate of Braun once again to remove a bunch of health from Wong, because if you are going to try to apply just direct damage, you're not going to be very lucky. Okay, so we have Red Hulk with his big Meteor Crush. We are going to apply that trauma and heal block to everyone. They also have defense down, offense down, and everything like that. So now you just have to get rid of them. And they are still holding on, of course. This is Darkhold, this is not a joke. But you can see the massive amount of damage that Braun was able to do because of his ultimate. Okay, so one good thing about the Gamma team is that they don't have any controllers. We have 2 protectors, 2 brawlers, and 1 support. So that's a great thing, because Morgan Le Fay is not able to apply ability block to us. And now we can see that we are almost done here. Now you're gonna crush that Wong. And yeah, this is the problem why you want to get rid of Agatha as fast as possible, is because you don't have to deal with this stealth situation. And in terms of the Strange Supreme, the Gamma team doesn't have a lot of deflects, only on spawn with the passive from Braun, if I remember correctly. So this might be a problem if you have a lot of negative effects. If you have a character that applies defense down to the Gamma team, it can be some big damage that Strange Supreme applies to you. So I would change the position of the Darkhold team. I would put Agatha and Morgan Le Fay as far away from Wong as possible. I would put Strange Supreme in the middle, and I would put Scarlet Witch next to Wong. So like this, it's less likely that Strange Supreme will have tons of negative effects, and your Agatha and Morgan Le Fay would be protected from those negative effects as well. So this match is taking quite a little bit of time, as you can see. It took us already 3 minutes, and we are still dragging ourselves through the battle, because once again, even with those battlefield effects, we need the enemies to have their turns, so the bleeds are applied and then the bleeds burn through the enemies. So it requires 2 turns for the battlefield effect to actually do anything, and this is something that I think people don't have in mind. Okay, so we are done here. So last match we are going to take a look at is Darkhold with Dormammu. Okay, so for our last match we are going to take a look at the Gamma team with the 3 yellow stars, Red Hulk, going against 1 million power Darkhold with Dormammu. So this is not the biggest you can get. I think mine are a little bit bigger than this. And I think people from my alliance have bigger as well, but they are using them on offense to counter other Darkholds and to counter Gamma teams as well. But we are going to run this 300k punch up, and the secret about any team with Dormammu is that you want to destroy the centerpiece of the team. And that's going to be Morgan Le Fay. So as soon as you get rid of Morgan Le Fay, the match is pretty much over. Now I did a mistake here. I should have used the special of Red Hulk on Morgan Le Fay to remove a revive one. So you can see that Strange Supreme no longer has the yellow icon over his head, and that's exactly what you want to do. So you want to remove the revive once from Morgan Le Fay, and after that you just want to go balls deep on her and remove her from the field as fast as possible. Now, in terms of the other characters, with the turn rewind that you do with Red Hulk, you are going to turn rewind that Wong, and then because of the speed up and the turn rewind, you can easily stun Wong with She-Hulk, similar like we do on the Darkhold versus Gamma team. Just because they have Dormammu, it doesn't change us too much, and your team is way faster than Dormammu is, so you're gonna have a lot of turns before Dormammu has his first turn. Other thing about the Gamma team is that they don't really rely on rely on positive effects, and that's a good thing for you, because like this you don't have to be scared of Dormammu flipping your positive effects around. Now, you saw there that I tried to use the basic of Red Hulk to flip the immunity on Dormammu, and it's quite hard to do. That's why I recommend the Skirmisher Isolate on Red Hulk, because the damage that he does from the battlefield effect is not important. It takes so longer for that damage to apply that you should rather focus on increasing your focus so you can flip the positive effects on the enemies and remove the revive onces and so on for you to win. This is the important thing, is to apply the negative effects, remove the revive onces, and forget about the gamma radiation, because it takes so long to activate. You need to get 5 charges, you need to have a turn, then you need to apply the gamma radiation, you need characters to have their turn to get the negative effects on themselves, and then you need to have another turn so the bleeds that they got are applied. So this requires 5 turns, 5 additional turns. So before you concern about the damage, concern about using the abilities the team has to go against his team. I hope I made this clear. This is why I prefer Skirmisher on Red Hulk, because the negative effects are just more important than the damage is. The damage, it will come eventually, it's not a priority. Okay, so we got rid of Morgan Le Fay, we got rid of Dormammu. Once again, if I had Red Hulk higher with the Skirmisher Isolate, we would flip that immunity into Disrupt, and then we'll destroy this team extremely easy. Right now, because it's not the case, and because Dormammu has such a high resistance, it's a problem for us. But still, we were able to deal with this team, and you can see that the match took a little bit long, so it's not like a free win. And people are using the Darkhold with Dormammu to counter Gamma teams on defense. Okay guys, so that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed Red Hulk and the Gamma team in Alliance Wars. Are they the Weapon X 2.0? Definitely not. While the Weapon X starts off with all their firepower and then it starts to fall off, the Gamma team is exactly the opposite. They start very slow and then they rampage through the enemies. So this is why you need to maximize the survivability of the team. This is why you need to maximize the control of the team. This is going to be about the stuns from Abomination, She-Hulk, and the control effects of Red Hulk, and we need to take advantage of those factors. Once again, the Gamma team is not Weapon X 2.0, and I would even say that individually Omega Red is still better than Red Hulk. They are very different, but both of them have extreme values, and you should use both of them together or in Dark Dimension or individually. But I think that we need to separate the waters, and we cannot compare these two teams because they work completely different from each other. Either way, they are extremely powerful. They are going to have huge viability in all game modes, whether it is Alliance Wars, Cosmic Crucible, or Arena, or anything like that. Both of these characters are going to be quite amazing in all these game modes, even Avengers Tower if it ever comes back, and that's it. So that's gonna be the review of Red Hulk and the Gamma team. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smash that like button and let me know in the comments below what you think about these. Do you think I did the correct evaluation of the characters? And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So that's all for now, guys. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. If you found information on this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord, and I will catch you guys later.